Fly shit only. All right, cool. All right, everybody. I tried to go live on Instagram, but some kind of audio thing with my phone, so I'm gonna just chalk it up as that. So I'm gonna do this here. Uh, so again, I just wanted to, since don't nobody ask me nothing, I was just gonna tell my side of what happened on Sunday. Uh, so to back it all the way back to give everybody some background in case everybody watches this later or whatever. So we had a protest was planned for Sunday. All right, everybody. And it was about Black Lives Matter, of course, but a lot of it was involved with Lyda Cruzen, who released the names and addresses of people who wanted to defund the police. Like people were able to send in emails or send in postcards saying like, I want to defund the police. This is what I want to do with the money. X, Y, and Z. Lyda Cruzen went on Facebook Live and gave everybody's name and address. Now, the reason why this is a problem, dog, is because if you think the St. Louis Police Department won't kill you, you're crazy. They absolutely will kill you. They absolutely will fuck with you. They absolutely will make your life a living hell. Uh, when we were after everybody left with Mike Brown, once the cameras died down and Sean King found another body to go to, and D-Ray McKessick or whatever dude name is, felt like he could run for public office, whatever it is you got going. Uh, they started killing local activists and calling it suicide. And that's real. You could look that shit up. I mean, it'll be ruled as suicide, but if you hear, if you know, you know. So if you think like the police department won't fuck with you for trying to fuck with their money, like that absolutely will. So she literally green lit, dog whistle, whatever you want to put it, people in danger. So we're at the point in time and the climate where that we just can't really stand for no shit like that. I wasn't, my name wasn't put out there, nothing about me was put on there because I don't write her nothing. But it wasn't about me personally, it was just about the overall point of it, right? So the march was held in a place called the Central West End, right? And it's in like the heart of the city. It's right in the middle of the city. It's a kind of a restaurant district, that kind of shit. And right on the edge of it are these subdivisions that are affluent. So we go, they have the rally, whatever, and then they start marching. And Lyda Cruzen lives a little walk away from where the original area was. So we were walking, and Portland Place, it has a gate, and the gate is to stop through traffic. So Portland Place sits on a street called Kings Highway. Kings Highway is one of the busiest intersections, busiest streets. Like it's an artery. So think about like if you in Atlanta, like Peachtree or some shit like that. So you're talking about you're talking about a lot of congested traffic. So they put a gate up to stop people from like, oh, I'm gonna bust a shortcut and go up in there, and then come out on the other side of Lindell or whatever will have you. The reason why I know that is because the neighborhood I live in or grew up in has the same thing. Because a little boy got hit because somebody tried to cut through as a shortcut, zoom down the street. Little boy was out there playing with a ball or whatever, got hit, got killed. And maybe when I was a baby. So we got a gate that opens and closes, but they close it for through traffic. So the gate is for cars, bruh. It ain't for people. So it's a sidewalk that has a gate on it, but the gate's always open. The gate's always open because it's not a private area. It's just literally like you got a gate in the street. Let's make a gate, on the sidewalk. But the gates don't be closing like that. So as we marching, dude, somebody was like, man, fuck it. I think this way is quicker. I'm assuming because I was kind of in the back. So we go, so and not even the whole protest. Like if it's 200 people, maybe 50, like the rest of the people went the long way, and cats, went the shortcut, like up Portland. So as we go up Portland, literally, I mean, we're making noise, but we're chanting, like people are. I'm not making noise, but people are chanting, like people are, whatever, like people got little drums and shit. But I mean, it's 5 o'clock in the evening. It's not 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, it. Nobody was unreasonably loud, especially considering you live right off of Kings Highway. Like, you don't have no quiet day because Kings Highway is that busy of a street, right? So you go through the gate, and dog, out of nowhere, dude and old girl come out with their guns, and my man got the AR on his hip. And she got this little Men in Black handgun, you know what I'm saying, with like her finger on it. So, everybody, like, at that point, everybody's like, what the fuck, essentially. So we go from walking, like the intention was to walk up the street, cut across, go through, go to Light of Cruising House. Well, obviously we stop. And it's a standoff, but we stop on the sidewalk. Like, we not on their lawn, we not on their property. Like, I want to, get rid of myth one that we broke down their gate. They don't have a gate. They don't own a gate. There was no gate. They don't have a gate anywhere on a property that we had to disrupt in order to, like, get through there. Like, they live in a house with a yard. It's a big house, it's a big yard, yeah, but it's a house with a yard. That's all the fuck it is. Like, there is no estate. We didn't pull up in anywhere, like none of that kind of shit, bro. So, um, so let's get rid of that first. Like, we didn't break a gate, but we damn sure didn't break their gate. Like, nowhere on their property. So we on the sidewalk. And we looking, because I mean, at this point, dog, there was no, like, we're coming on their line. There was no we coming up their driveway. There was no, knocking on their door. There was no throwing at them. Like, that's not even where we were going to. So they got this gun. So yeah. So then we stopped. Like, the fuck is you doing? Um, so we had a standoff, and that's pretty much on my live, of them just really, like, literally wielding a gun. Nobody. I mean, that's when people are calling them names and shit, but nobody has a gun pointed at them. Nobody took a gun out. Nobody stepped on their property. And I think that's evident, because apparently, if you're gonna pull a gun out because we walking, think about if we really would have stepped on their property. Like, probably somebody would have been shot, bro. So, you know, now the thing about my video is I was one of the last people in the gate, and I was one of the last people to leave the area. Um, and this is important because if you look at my video, man, and literally I left because a priest was like pulling my arm, like, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm like, all right, man, whatever, fuck it. And I hung around because, they put a gun out of me. And, I don't believe you murder. Just to keep a buck. I think you a bitch. Like, I think both of y'all are some bitches. Like, for real. I don't think you would shoot shit. I don't think you would shoot nothing. So, I want to make you do it. I want to see you do it. So, I mean, to this day, fuck y'all. Y'all can suck my dick. But, beyond that, uh, why me being the last person is important, because you will look and see there is no gate knocked down. Like, there is no gate torn down. We didn't have a reason to. Like, and the reason why we didn't have a reason to was, one, it was open, but even if it wasn't open, we just would not have gone in there. Like, we weren't trying to get to Portland Place. Lighter Cruising doesn't stay on Portland Place. She stay on Lake. It's like 5401 Lake. Oops. Oh my God, did I drop your address on the internet? So she lived on Lake. So we were trying to find the quickest way to get to Lake. Lake is like 3 blocks away from where Portland is, right? So had the gate been locked, we just would have kept walking the way we would have went the long way. Whatever, cool. We just went to the lake and shot up, whatever, no big deal. Uh, so there was no reason to knock a gate down. We weren't angry at anybody on Portland Place. Now, as we continue to walk, no incident. Nobody came out their house, and we didn't go in anybody's yard. We didn't go, in anybody's house. We didn't, break anything. We didn't disrupt anything. Like everything else went without incident because we were minding our business, and everybody else on the street was minding theirs. So, um, so this narrative about, man, we went to like the Cruising house, and we stood outside of there. Clearly, she was gone. I don't think she was even in town because that's what punk ass niggas do. You ain't gonna stand up for what you motherfucking did, whatever. Uh, so as we, so again, just to break back, just to break some narratives. It wasn't a mob. It was maybe 50 people. Uh, we weren't angry, like, not. I mean, we were protesting, but nobody was angry. Nobody had weapons, so there was no fear for anybody's life. Uh, if 50 people can't walk down a sidewalk, then I don't know where we are. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't call a bunch of people walking down the sidewalk a mob. Like, look, at no weapons drawn, no weapons had. We're not on anybody's property. We weren't anywhere where we couldn't be. Uh, None of that. Um, we go, and then as we're walking down the street, so I guess Portland Place has their own security. As we're walking down the street, security is escorting us, like, yeah, like, come on, like, and not even like to de-escalate, like literally, like, yeah, man, like, come this way. If you want to get the lake, you're gonna cut around here, you're gonna go, whatever, like, you take this way, it's about a couple blocks over, boo, 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 whatever. Like, there was no incident aside from them. Um, so you've got people who live there, uh, not for the. I mean, it's a beautiful neighborhood. So you got people who live there not because the neighborhood's beautiful, not because they could afford to, not because it makes sense for however they live their life, but it's because they hate being around black. They hate seeing black people. They never thought the day would come where they would see black people on their street. And they were incensed about it. And I'll be honest with you, I do think alcohol and drugs were at play. I think if they did a toxicology report, it'd come back all kinds of quaaludes and pill, whatever the fuck it is they'd be taking. Um, they're two-bit lawyers. They're ambulance chasers. If you look at what they do for a living, it's like medical malpractice. So they two greasy ass motherfuckers in bad suits, running down neck injuries. Like, they're not intelligent. They're not well thought out. Um, they're not anything that uh, would make you believe that they wouldn't be so racist and so frightened by just the mere existence of people that they wouldn't pull out guns and point them at people. Because I mean that's the thing. It wasn't for me. It wasn't even you having a gun. Like, you could be on your porch, right? Like, you could hear some shit and be like, "Dog, what the fuck?" And it's 50 people, and then, I mean, it's a quiet street, so you see 50 people that you never see, and you're like, "Dog, what the fuck going on?" And you go outside, and yeah, I mean, you got it on you. I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. I'm all right with that. Like, you want to do that, that's cool. It was the heading down your lawn and waving it at people. Like, if you want to be on your porch just to make sure, I don't know these motherfuckers. I don't know what they're capable of. I don't know who they're here for. I don't know what they're here for. Cool. And we keep walking, and all you're doing, because at that point we just see people on a porch. Well, I'm trying with people being on a porch, like, whatever. But you coming down your line waving a gun is a whole different story. As everybody's pointed out, it's clear that they have no kind of, automatic or no kind of gun training at all, because the lady shit wasn't even automatic. Uh, so anything could have happened. They could have killed somebody accidentally on purpose. Could have shot somebody accidentally on purpose, and that's problematic. Like if you've got people waving a gun at unarmed people, um, then or you have people waving a gun at people who don't have guns waved back at them. That's a problem. It's a problem. Um, so you know, there is no other narrative besides that. There is no other story besides that. How did the gate get broken? I think they broke it. To be honest with you. And again, I was the last person to leave. So nobody was behind me. Like nobody was still there. Nobody was around, and we didn't break it going in. When I walked through that motherfucker, it wasn't broken. When I left that motherfucker, it wasn't broken. So I think they broke it. Just keep it a buck. Why wouldn't they? Because it'll everything else, because everything about their narrative is made up. Like everything else about it is made up. So why wouldn't the gate being broken not be made up? Uh, so and I don't know if they did or didn't, but the gate wasn't broken in any point while we were over there. So that's how the gate was broken. Again, logically, there's no need for us to go up that street to the point where we got to break the gate to get access to it. We just would have went another street down, or went another street down, or went all the way down the lake and cut up, because that's where we were trying to go. We were trying to go to the lake. So, uh, how do I feel about it? I feel like I feel I don't know how I feel about it. The last time somebody put a gun out on me on purpose, I was 18 and I was a freshman in college, and we were at this bar. It's me and some of my teammates was at this bar, and long story short, it ended up not going well. Like nobody died or anything like that, but I ended up beating the shit out the dude, because you just can't pull a gun out on me. Uh, so I'm to this day, to this day, uh, I'm wrestling with the concept of them getting able to pull a gun, them being able to pull a gun out on me, and like that's just it just be like that. And everybody who's saying keep moving, everybody who was saying forget about it, let's keep moving, we got bigger shit to do. Uh, they they were right, for a lot of reasons. One, because had anything transpired, we would have been on the receiving end of whatever would have came, whatever judicial procedure would have come. We would have been on the losing end of it, as we clearly are right now, and we didn't even do anything. Uh, and then two, it wasn't my protest. I didn't organize it. I didn't have anything to do with it. I didn't plan it. I was just there. So for me to act outside of what it is they wanted would be me, kind of gaslighting what it is they trying to get done. The protests were organized by a sister. So, if we would have, let's just say we would have, rushed the property. Let's just say we would have, you know, if somebody would have had a gun, they would have pulled their gun out. Let's just say it would have been a shootout. Let's just say anything would have happened. It would have taken away from the people who put the time and effort to plan that. So I definitely, out of respect for them, you definitely can't make that moment about you, because you came as a visitor into some shit they had going. So and so everybody was saying the right thing. Everybody who was like, nah, let's go, keep walking, keep going, keep pushing it, they were all saying the right shit. Nobody was saying anything wrong. But but just as a man, to have two punk motherfuckers, uh waving a gun at you, and then playing a victim about it, it just infuriates you. But that's St. Louis. But there's a lot of white folks in St. Louis. I'm gonna say all white folks, but there's a lot of white folks in St. Louis. St. Louis is very much a old racist city, and they try to hide it by using terms like the Midwest. St. Louis is not the Midwest. St. Louis is the South, and St. Louis is the old South. St. Louis is not Midwestern. We ain't got shit in common with Chicago or Cleveland or Milwaukee or Minneapolis. We like Memphis, Little Rock, kind of shit. So and we're collectively, especially with the people, the powers that be, are 25 to 30 years behind any modern city when it comes to economics, policy, politics, race relate, all that kind of shit. We like 30 years behind everybody. So I'm not surprised. What do I think will happen to him? I don't know. Kim Gardner is on it. Kim Gardner is one of the few Black leaders we have. We do have some, but she's one of the few Black leaders we have that are actually for Black people, that are for like the interest of Black people. We've got a lot of Black politicians that don't give a fuck about Black people, and Kim Gardner has taken the case, and I think she's looking into it. So we'll see. I don't know if she'll have enough to do anything with it, and they want Kim Gardner to fuck up out of here. So I don't know what kind of power she'll have to get anything done. We're going back to the original area, not to their house or nothing, but we're going back to the original area of the protest on Friday. So we'll be there. We'll see how that goes. Also, that Sunday when that happened, the day before, right up the street from there was a Klan rally. So, and not making this up, literally, it was a Klan rally. Saturday, that protest shit happened on Sunday. On Saturday, we had a Klan rally. So again, St. Louis, we don't shut down the Klan rally. We don't make sure they're not allowed to be around. But when it comes to people waving an AR at unarmed protesters, what you gonna do? So again, the narrative is they crazy and they racist, and they're entitled, and fortunate for the movement they weren't, but I think in the eyes of anybody with common sense, they should have been shot. They should have absolutely been shot. You cannot wave guns at people and think that that's okay. Like, they should have been clipped off. They should have been slumped. And, somebody should have been dealing with, trying to fight a murder charge. And, I'm going to stand on that to the day I die. Whatever. So I don't have no love for him. I know they said some shit about, oh, we're not the face of people who oppose Black lives. Bro, I ain't got no love for you. I ain't got no love for your kids. I ain't got no love for your people. I ain't got no love for nothing. You put everybody's life in danger. I hate you. I absolutely hate you. Whatever. Take it how you want to take it. So that's all I really got on it. But like I said, nobody really asked me anything, and I ain't got no interview request. And I don't need none. I definitely don't need any. I don't expect to have. I ain't expect to have none. But I just thought I'd just kind of put the whole narrative out there, and it's that simple. It happened just like that. I wish I could go into an hour long whatever about it, but it really wasn't that. We were walking and somebody put a gun out on us. So. So that's what we got.